in Korea before he ever qualified for a tournament.
Yes, I remember that as well.
Because he was winning online cups. He was playing in in-house tournaments. And he was teamless. I mean, he was just beating so many top-name players. And he was never able to qualify. I remember him having huge emotional moments where he lost to players like Liquid Hero in the finals of his Code A bracket and had to go home and wait for next season. Now, he's so accomplished. He's up against a player who was so accomplished in StarCraft 1, looking even better and better these days in StarCraft 2, and he failed to go to Code S this season. So for him, it's all about Pro League for the next few months.
Yeah, he's going to have his mind on this tournament and this tournament alone. He's going to have crazy plans for every game that he plays, especially this one as well. He played a crazy game against Zerg in the first match. He dominated Sniper. It was not even close. He looked so powerful. I'm sure he even practiced this map so much as well. Taking a deep breath, he is going to be ready for this match against another Zerg. Part of the reason we're like, wow, DRG again, is because, well, not DRG again, another Zerg again, is because he destroyed the Zerg in the first matchup. And now they're sending out DongRaeGu.
All of the hype, for me, is on DRG. Yes, FlaSh is the player that you expect a lot of time in the Ace match. He's been in so many Ace matches in StarCraft 1, StarCraft 2, most successful StarCraft 2 pro gamer last season. He is not to be trifled with. If he gets ahead, he does not make mistakes. He does not get nervous. DRG gets nervous. DRG makes mistakes. And he's playing the matchup that FlaSh crushed in earlier in Game 1. So what strategy does he have planned? Will he play straight up against this Titan? Or does he have Plan X up his sleeve? That's what everybody is waiting to find out.
That's why there's so much hype around this match, because DRG is such an unexpected pick. What build is he going to do, regardless of if he does early aggression, crazy, 6 pool, 9 pool against FlaSh, it's going to be crazy. If he goes in a straight-up game against FlaSh, a guy who just destroyed a Zerg in the first game, that's going to be even crazier. Make sure you get your friends on this to watch this game. This is going to be awesome.
Twitch.tv/SC2 Pro League. FlaSh doing that FlaSh Twitch there on the right side. The map is loaded. It's the King Sejong station for this ace match. DRG versus FlaSh. MVP versus KT Rolster. Let's get into it right now.
LTA는 SK텔레콤.
Down here in the bottom right, it is DongRaeGu.
His opponent to the top left, FlaSh. These two players are so well known in Korea, overseas, in Europe, America, Australia. You name a part of the world, they're known there. They're famous, they're successful. Both of them in a different time in their career right now. DRG, one of the best Zerg players in the world, not having the most success these days. FlaSh, on the other hand, most successful Brood War player at the end of its life, coming to StarCraft 2, trying to prove himself, not able to qualify for Code S, but still, when it comes to Pro League, when it comes to this is their territory, and they're here to take this match. Both of them ready, looking strong. And I have to say, man, I think DRG has to, he either has to show a crazy build that we just don't really see, or an aggressive timing, or maybe he is specifically training in the MVP house right now as the anti-mech player. Maybe he's the one who's there for, what if we hit mech? I need this guy for this.
And that would be huge. FlaSh playing such a sick mech game. If there's a guy in your house who's practicing only versus mech Terrans, he's going to be the most prepared player probably in all of Korea. A guy who is on a team like MVP, one who is a team who is in Pro League, just to say that alone is to say it's one of the top teams here. And having a guy, if he's possibly doing this, practicing only for mech, he's going to be so prepared.
I mean, there's no way for us to know, but if DRG is able to beat FlaSh here, well, FlaSh is in this mindset, and after that crazy momentum he must have from the first match we saw. If DRG can do this and beat FlaSh in a straight-up game, nobody will ever question DRG again, at least until, he gets out of this stage in his career. But FlaSh, Reaper coming out, building up that gas, likely to follow up with Hellions, just as you would expect, just as he did in his very first game. Here's a shot of DRG. He does use a pink mouse. He's very secure in his masculinity. He's not afraid to show it.
There's nothing wrong with using a pink mouse. Works just as well as a black mouse or a blue mouse.
And here's FlaSh's command center being placed on the low ground. Very confident, very comfortable to do this. DRG banking up some minerals here. He's also mining his gas. The Reaper wants to identify how much gas is mined. Should I be concerned about possible pressure, possible aggression? 6 Zerglings being made right now for DRG as well. It's going to help him against the Reaper. Factory will be planted, as you can see on the production tab. And here comes that Reaper.
And here comes Zerglings to defend it here. How many? Is he going to get that drone?
Yes.
Looks like he got it.
And Reaper now having to micro off creep against those Zerglings. He wants to fight in between the bases, where he's much faster, much more agile. And FlaSh is doing a great job of it. That base that he got at home is already secured. He's taking his own second gas. Second gas that fast, man. Making me feel like we're going to see Mac.
Making me feel like we're going to see Mac, yes.
So, he's able to see that some of the drones will pull out of gas, but not all. Meaning that the possibility of an aggressive follow-up is still there for DRG. And that uncertainty is going to make FlaSh have to play a little bit safely. Looks like he will go into Banshees again, just like we saw in Game 1.
Yep. Watching this build again, FlaSh is known for playing the same thing over and over and over again. It's what he's good at. He gets these builds down to a T better than you could draw a T. He gets it down.
He can measure his build with a ruler.
Yes, he can.
Like, FlaSh is precise. That's what he's known for, and his builds are crisp. Now, Hellion production has continued here. We'll send his first ones out. Accompany the Reaper. Try to deny some creep. Already DRG trying to work on opening up a second pathway so that he has a little bit more mobility. The concern, of course, though, being that run-bys are going to be more effective against him with Hellions if he does have 2 pathways to his natural. This third base will be spotted. Cloak is on the way for the Banshees, just like we saw in Game 1.
Yeah. And you could see his minerals and gas right as that came down were so low. This build is like down to a T. So precise. Getting 2 more queens as DRG wants to be ready for this. The Reaper coming back in. No lair just yet. Gonna just see what he can see.
DRG trying to grab this Reaper. He will with 3 queens undoubtedly grab the Reaper. The Hellion actually scouts of those rocks have been partially destroyed, so he's gonna have to keep that in mind. And the build that FlaSh is doing is soon to be scouted by the Overlords. There are 2 Overlords in position right now for DRG. 1 at the natural, 1 ready to go to the main base. 3rd Overlord around at 8 o'clock position on the map to spot possible drops. And FlaSh is actually taking a risk. He will take his 3rd command center on the low ground, outside of his main base, something that DRG will likely not expect. He's already checked and saw that there's no reason to believe that any Overlords will see this, but DRG on the hunt goes over here to check for it, sending Zerglies around, and he will find this, and he will maybe even force a cancel. That would be huge. He's going to kill the SCV at the very least. Can he save it?
He actually leaves the SCV, and these Hellions coming over here might be able to stop this from having to be cancels. Yeah, a lot of Hellions coming over here now. Good defense there. Wasn't able to pick off that SCV, so getting right back to work building that CC. This Cloak Banshee's coming in here.
No, DRG not being prepared for the Cloak Banshee. No Spore Crawler near that Queen. Does have an additional one on the way. Double Armory coming up. FlaSh is indeed meching. Something that DRG has the inkling of because he has seen the amount of Hellions that FlaSh made, but he starts still the melee upgrades rather than the range upgrades. And I just... It's interesting he gets melee. He may be misreading this, or maybe he has a better, different idea of how to deal with the melee upgrades for his units rather than going to roaches. Lair is on the way for him as well. Could be that he wants to go meters very quickly and support them with Zerglings. And the FlaSh Banshees are doing damage.
Yeah, they're doing a bunch of damage. A bunch more drones coming out here as well. And look at that production tab again with the 1-1. It's basically the same exact thing we saw against Sniper. DRG watched this game in the studio. He watched this game go down. He's got to know how FlaSh plays. He's got to know what's coming out in this build next. And we're going to have to see how he responds. We're seeing this +1 to melee get near the halfway mark.
Yeah.
It can't be a mistake.
It's got to be intentional. DRG not going for Swarmos, not choosing the response that we saw from Sniper, unsuccessful. Good transfuses here. FlaSh may lose a Banshee. Barely escapes, cloaks it on the retreat. Barely enough energy for that. Just goes to show how FlaSh lives life on the edge. Baneling Nest, Inspire. Brendan with the Baneling Nest here. I'm not so sure if DRG knows what he's up against. Banelings against mech, especially with siege tank count this high. I don't know, man. The thing is, Banelings are great against Bio, and this would be the timing that the Bio force would come in. Overseer's going to come in here and be very unhappy. It looks like he wasn't able intuitively to figure out that he was up against mech early enough. Now his Overlord is seeing the first few Hellbats, and the siege tank's coming out. That's at the natural.
And now he starts the Roach Warren.
A whole set of upgrades nearly wasted here. He's going to keep it because he spent so much time, and it will be useful for him later on, for example, for his Broodlings if he does get that.
And he immediately gets the +1 to range. Starts the +2 to armor as well. That Spire's about to complete, making 2 hatches, 1 at the 4th, 1 is a macro hatch.
Well, his creep spread is still decent. The 4th base going up, as you said. Macro hatch. Spire's soon to complete, and he doesn't have enough. Well, he could go into around 10 Mutalisk, try to harass with that, but FlaSh is already going to have 2 Thors and probably missile turrets at this point in the game. Goes into Infestation, but goes into Mutas as well, though. He is going to commit to a few of those. He wants to control the map and try to make sure that FlaSh is on the defensive, right? Trying to make him make turrets and possibly get some damage done.
Yeah, just scouting here. He has the Overlord speed as well. No Banelings being made. That Baneling mess was completed.
Yeah, Baneling Nest could be useful later on, but
yeah,
so far probably not going to be seen this game based on what we've seen right now.
Starts the road speed as well. And at the same time, FlaSh just on the mark, continuing with the upgrades, getting +2/+2 to those vehicles. DongRaeGu wants to start 5th as well. These Mutalisks, they could actually pick off a bunch of these Banshees with that Overseer.
Nice.
He is going to get 1.
We'll get 2. Can he get the all kill on the Banshees? Going for the search. Will not find that 3rd one. But regardless, he stopped the Banshees, and he is switching into Swarmhounds. So what it looked like may have been an alternative way to deal with Meg is actually just DRG following Sniper's method, a little bit delayed because of lack of information. And on a map like this, it is difficult to scout. And if he blindly goes into Roaches and he's not 100% sure what FlaSh is doing, then suddenly he's behind because Roaches aren't good against Bio. Can't fault him for that.
Yeah, definitely. He is also getting the +1 to air units. Hasn't built any more mutas just yet, but he is going to have that little scouting army to go around the map, try to pick off Vikings, pick off those Banshees before, like we did see.
You ask a Zerg player one of the most high utility, or one of the, if you ask them what's the best thing that a Mutalisk can do in the mid game consistently, and that is defense. You know, if you're being attacked by Vikings coming around to kill all of your Overlords so that you can't scout, so that you're being supply blocked, Mutalisk can deal with that. You have dropships dropping Hellions, Hellbats, Marines in your base. Mutalisk can deal with that. You have Hellions running around the map doing run-bys on your drones. If the Mutalisk see it in time, they can deal with that. So the small group Mutalisk is always going to be relatively useful for DRG, who's starting to now attempt to do some damage to siege tanks. He doesn't quite have the locust count he needs to actually do any shots. There's too many siege tanks set up for the defense.
He has so many of these Swarmhounds coming out, though. Just right now, he has 14 with 6 more on the way. That lifetime research also just finishing up is going to help him out. FlaSh now moving out on the map has a big siege tank count as well as a bunch of Vikings here. 2 of those Thors in the mix as well as Hellbats. That's a really tough army to deal with right now.
Yeah, it has 2-2 as well. 3-3 started instantly. Locust going to work here, trying to break down those rocks. And, FlaSh actually going to find himself a little bit flanked here. Mutalisk and Swarmos coming in on the right side, but also the Locust coming from the back, and FlaSh is not sieged up. He cannot afford to lose a lot of these expensive siege tanks right now, but he just does not care. FlaSh is the player who will take Meg and take it to you. He's not a sitter backer. He's not a waiter. He's not a sitter backer. Don't laugh.
He does not sit back on his hind legs.
No. He moves forward. He takes steps forward. He's actually going to harass and kill this base over here at the 3 o'clock expansion. He needs to siege up and get into a better position, though, because he does not want to lose this whole chunk.
He has to be careful here. He does not want to lose these units. He has the Swarm Host moving into position, and the Roaches, they're coming in now to do more damage. Has to have the Locust tank for him first, though.
Yep, he's got Thors over here now. DRG trying to come down the ramp. Locust coming to tank from the north as well. Meanwhile, FlaSh is going on a Viking hunt here. He's going for the Overlord genocide. He's starting to kill Overlord after Overlord of DRG. DRG having to make 9 Overlords at a time. 900 minerals going down the drain. FlaSh harassing, being everywhere at once, continuing to mine from his 4 bases, trying to secure a 5th base. He says, mech immobile, I'll bring that to you. That's a service I can give you for free, viewers.
If you need some mech at your home base, I can bring you some mech. He does bring the bulk of his army over, loses a bunch of it. DRG now up in supply. He has a decent army composition, actually. A ton of these Swarm Hosts, as well as getting 8 of these Infestors out now. A really nice ground army of Roaches as well.
FlaSh's bank is depleted. He starts to research the building armor right now. His base over here at the right side will be assaulted by Roaches on the high ground. He's going to need some Banshees for that. He's starting to lose more Vikings. And the Swarm House count is insane. FlaSh is trying to switch to air a little bit to help deal with this. With all these Queens and plus the Infestors that are coming out right now, DRG is going to give him a very big problem. And I'm starting to feel maybe that possible mech snipe that DRG's been preparing for. It's a hypothesis, a theory. Maybe DRG's preparing for mech specifically against a player he may face. Seems to be looking solid so far.
Yeah, he is just playing a very solid game. He's about to get his Hive up as well. So many Infestors as well as Swarm Hosts, the bulk of his army. This Cloak Banshee going to be really annoying over here. Already getting 8 kills, 9 kills. Nothing over here just yet to defend.
Yeah, 2 Overseers. But an Overseer is only one part of the problem solving. You need an anti-air unit. In this case, Infested Terrans will clean it up. But not before the damage is done. Locust really starting to put a hurt on this command center. Does repair it, but DRG not messing around, moving his Swarm Hosts a little bit closer, getting ready for faster reinforcements. The Infestors are there, 13 of them, to help deal with any air problem that he may have with not only Banshees, but also the Vikings. And I think DRG, now that his Hive is done, is going to start a Greater Spire pretty soon here. And that way he can continue to siege. FlaSh missing a few of his Harvesters there, does notice. And DRG, man, he's just sieging on the move.
Yeah, he's a mobile siege army right now with these Swarm Hosts going all over the map. They were over all the way to the left. Now they're moving to the right. They want to siege up at this 5th of FlaSh. Now getting that planetary as well as a bunch of siege tanks. He's going to be able to stave it off for now. But so many. You can just look at the compositions now. 24 Swarm Hosts as well as a bunch of Infestors.
FlaSh 16. Is opening a new path. Notice those siege tanks attack the rocks on the left side. Oh, this is huge. He will save the planetary, I feel, with siege tanks coming over. It's going to be close. Oh my God! That was down to the single digits. That was down to these single digits. But I mean, that's free for DRG. That didn't cost him anything.
That doesn't cost him a bit. And look at all these Infestors. They could catch a bunch of these tanks. Infested Terrans coming out as well. Doesn't want to get them sieged, though. Another nice fungal coming out.
DRG is basically using cost inexpensive units to destroy the expensive meching units of FlaSh. FlaSh with these siege tanks will be able to siege up the high ground here with no Mulus to contest them, no Greater Spire. It's going to be pretty tough. This time the planetary, if it not repaired, will go down. 30 hit points. He does repair. That's so critical because he needs this gas income right now. The next wave of Locusts, though, not going to make it easy for FlaSh. I think he may end up losing his commander. Siege tanks to help out on the other hand.
And a nice repair there. These siege tanks coming in the back here are going to be so annoying. It's going to stop mining for a while over here. He's going to have to deal with this now. Going to have to move that over. These Swarm Hosts, though, they have another idea in mind. They want to move forward. They're being blocked by the Locusts. They don't want to be taken out by these Cloak Banshees. They got to be careful here.
Yep. DRG is starting to build a bank, but it's not that big yet. Also, switching into a bit of Mutalisk here. +2 attack on the way. And he's just, again, attacking right into FlaSh's command centers with his Swarm Hosts. With the Mutalisk switch, this could be really scary because FlaSh has a very heavy siege tank army. He does not really have any Thors. And this is what you can do as a Zerg player against mech. You can make your opponent have a lopsided composition and then counter it. In this case, it looks like the Mulus may just simply be for dealing with some of these siege tank harasses, because to try to switch into Mulus right now against this amount of Vikings is just never going to be a way to get ahead in the game. But he's going to defend this. He has to remake that hatchery. It's very important to him.
Yeah, it's good to have those 5 there. Look at this, a big move in now with a ton of infested Terrans. The Locust also trying to come up here.
Yep.
Look at that.
Good luck defending this planetary without a mass repair. It looks like he may just barely do it. It does have that building armor. Oh no, meanwhile, FlaSh sieging up the base at the 3 o'clock as well. There's no defense here. The mule is far away. And FlaSh just continuing to mine from these bases. He's able to secure them left and right. 4 siege tanks in production. Can this be defended? A few infested Terrans to tank. And goodbye hatchery, 2 hit points left. One more target will do it. The Locust coming over here to try to trade FlaSh. Okay with this though.
Yeah, this is just a small harass to come over here and take out that hatchery, forces DRG to move back his swarm host because those are what he has to defend against these little drops over here. This hatchery remade Vipers here now in the middle of the map, as well as a bunch more Corruptors. These Vipers.
These Vipers, you cannot afford to lose them. They're so expensive. They're critical to his army. 8 Corruptors on the way. Here we go. If he can get those infestors in on top of the Vikings and take them out just once is all he needs. If he can do it once, then he will probably win this game because FlaSh can't afford to remake all those Vikings. There's the bungles! Bungles on every single Viking! Can he link them up? 1, 2, and 1 more! Goodbye, FlaSh's Vikings. He doesn't get the final bungle, though! He doesn't get it!
He doesn't get the final bungle. And look at this over here. Cloak Banshee's coming over. No Overseer. Could this hatch also go down? It looks like it might. The Overseer just comes in. How is it going to go down?
Transfuses? No transfuses. Goodbye, hatchery. Oh my god, this is so tense. 10 Corruptors. The repair cost for FlaSh on those Vikings is really wearing down his gas. Notice he brings the SCVs over here to repair. He's only at 100 gas right now. Mutalists want to find an opening on these siege tanks, but the Vikings are back. More and more Corruptors being made, though. DRG just biding his time, trying to build that perfect composition he can use to defend this. If he had killed those Vikings, FlaSh might have been checkmated, just simply because rebuilding those Vikings is a cost he could not afford. Oh my god. We're now at the 26-minute mark. Bases are starting to get mined out, and FlaSh is going to have very quickly a problem. Very, very soon, the base that he has over at the 10 o'clock expansion is going to be the last base that he has to work with. None of the other bases really have any more resources for him, plus he's not going to be able to move out on this creep. So that base over there at the 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whatever you want to call it, the base to the left side of the map, that is FlaSh's lifeline right now for gas income.
Yep, that is it. And for DRG, it's that one over to the bottom left, as well as that one in the middle. These Locusts trying to bring this out. Look at how many Corruptors there are coming in here. He
the
could
Viking
possibly
count very low.
Yeah, he could possibly come in here and take out a bunch of Vikings, gain air control. 3 Ravens being made at the same time, as well as 2 Vikings. Seems like FlaSh is ready to defend this. This hatchery goes down. That is big.
FlaSh is in a position where he has to trade efficiently constantly, even bringing SCVs over for turrets and repairs. Here we go, secret missiles. One gets queued up and it does go off. This really hurts DRG here. Ground army strong enough to defend the Locust. DRG engages the Vikings. I'm not sure if he has enough, Brendan. This might have been a mistake. Look at his face. He knows he has overstepped the bounds. And FlaSh taking out the space in the middle, continuing to deny mining. DRG with a gas bank, but no minerals. Less than 100.
Minerals. And you see the 3-3 upgrades on FlaSh's Vikings. They just demolish all of those Corruptors. These Swarmos trying to do their best to move into position, try to get some opening, but at the same time, FlaSh moving his sort of immobile mech army all the way over here to the left. The infested Terrans trying to defend desperately. Will they be able to, though? I'm not sure. This is so many tanks. It's so much air.
It's looking really bad. DRG desperately trying to switch into Mutalists, but it's not going to be the answer. He doesn't have enough. He needs bungles, and he misses his bungle growth. That one bone growth he missed where he could not eliminate FlaSh's Vikings may cost him the game. Meanwhile, FlaSh losing a base over here. DRG looking despondent, scratching his head. He's not sure exactly what he has to do next. He doesn't have the money to rebuild an army. FlaSh's army is just being too efficient. Despite the fact that he's throwing free Locusts, despite the fact that he's throwing free infested Terrans, he's just not able to compete. He's lost all of his economy. His income is very, very low right now. He's trying to send his Swarmos back. He knows that this may be the one way he can defend. A few mules that he has are starting to eliminate these siege tanks. Oh my god, Brendan, DRG on the ropes right now, and FlaSh is trying to finish him off here.
There's no mining at that base at the south. That's the third base. A nice bungle.
Here's the bungle. This is what he needs. Locust on the low ground, and here come the Corruptors. He's actually bringing the rest of his Vikings around. He needs more bungles. This could turn the game around for DRG. He still has to deal with these siege tanks, though. Desperately making five mules. That's all he can afford. Point defense goes down. It doesn't look like DRG has enough. Maybe FlaSh can end this game now. More point defense strokes going down. GG!
FlaSh taking the ace match against DRG. DRG not able to snipe out this guy, the god of StarCraft 2. He takes it first team, takes the rollster, bringing it 3-2. Was looking dire, was down 2-1, able to bring it to an ace match. FlaSh taking it out. KT takes first place.
Oh my God, KT takes first place.